Let's go to the next question. Let's go to Angelo Masso. Do you think it is realistic to use Florida's first and a player to move up into the 11 to 14 range for a second pick out of that second tier? If we could entice Buffalo somehow, it would be a draft day dream to end up with Berkeley Catton and then either Cole Iserman or one of the defensemen. Yeah, I think it's definitely it is definitely a possibility, and a team like Buffalo is a great target. I look at Buffalo, I look at Ottawa, I look at the teams that were supposed to be more this past season. And I think you can kind of, maybe not rip them off, because you are giving them a first-round pick and a decent, at least, player. But I can't imagine these teams are super excited. Like, okay, well, we have another guy who's going to be maybe a contributor or even maybe a difference maker for us, but in 3 to 4 years. Yeah, you always want like the pipeline of guys coming because it's a capped league. You need the constant pipeline. Otherwise, your window closes a lot sooner than you want it to. But teams like Buffalo are looking to just open their window. They're just trying to get into the goddamn playoffs. So whether it's, maybe they're not so pleased with their core and you can steal one of their center prospects or one of their pretty good NHL defensemen. I have my eye on Owen Power. Or maybe it's moving up in the draft, getting that 11th pick from them, something like that, for, whatever the Florida pick ends up being, something in the 20s probably, 28. And whether it's Scott Laughton, whether it's a Risto. Buffalo probably not trading for Risto. That's just a name. But maybe it's Travis Konecny and 11. Like, what does that get you? Travis Konecny and, the Florida pick, whatever. Like, what does that get you? Maybe it gets you a player in a pick. I don't know. But I am very interested, and I think it is realistic, especially if teams kind of have the same board as the Flyers, where it's, we don't necessarily love any of these guys. Maybe we do trade down and we get a player for right now, and we still get a pick in the 20s, and that's fine. Maybe the Flyers have to throw in like a second as well. We know they have the 4 seconds over the next 2 years, something like that. I do think it is very realistic. Now, Charlie and I have both been through this. You look up the last, I don't know how many, let's say 10 drafts. I think I went back to 2014. Trades into the top 10 rarely happen. I don't know if they're going to be able to, especially like get up to 6 or 7 or something like that. But I do think maybe that 11th pick is, maybe you have back-to-back picks there at 11 and 12. Something in that range is a way to do it. You all know my guy is Carter Yakimchuk. Yes, it's mostly based on name. Also, if he's physical, has the size and the puck skill that it seems as if this dude has. If they just develop him a little bit, he could maybe be a top pair defenseman. They badly need one of those. I'm very much on board with the idea of trying to get up and come away with more than one guy from this core of, this, as Charlie broke it down, like the prospect tiers. It's basically, the top pick is going to be what it is. And then 2 to 13, let's say, basically all the same. After Macklin Celebrini, it's 11, 12 guys who might grade out pretty close to each other as prospects. Yeah, let's get 2, because we all know prospects don't hit at the rate we want them to. Look at what we thought this Flyers defense was going to be just a few years ago after the, 2012, 13, 14 drafts, 15, and then what it is now. It didn't work out. Get 2 shots at a couple of these guys, and maybe one of them does become a difference maker for you, and another one is, yeah, he's a nice little player. Maybe you get a couple of shots there. So I do think it's realistic. I do think it's possible, especially targeting a team like Buffalo, as Angelo suggested, because they have to be looking to turn the corner. It's not about futures for them, I wouldn't think. It's about dudes for now. It's about getting in the playoffs and finally getting this core of young players. Like I've said so many times, I think they had 10 straight top 10 picks. It's about getting them some freaking playoff experience and finally taking the next step in their rebuild.
the mayor.